Guten Tag, willkommen auf meinem YouTube-Kanal, liebe Deutschlerner. Ich heiße Louise und ich unterrichte Deutsch seit 40 Jahren jetzt. Das letzte Mal haben wir über Wohnort gelernt und die verschiedenen Länder. Heute werden wir über die Ausnahmen lernen. Das heißt, die Länder, die feminin sind. Und auch die Länder, die plural sind. Wir werden auch die Richtungen lernen, das heißt der Kompass, und auch ein paar Personalpronomen. Los geht's! Unser erstes Land heute ist die Schweiz. Die Schweiz ist ein Land, das feminin ist. Die Türkei. Die Türkei ist ebenfalls feminin. Wie sagt man auf Deutsch? I come from Switzerland. Ich komme aus der Schweiz. I live in Switzerland. Ich wohne in der Schweiz. And that's what the preposition in does to die. It changes it to der. I just want you to learn it as a chunk to get the feel for the language. So, ich komme aus der Schweiz. Ich wohne in der Schweiz. Ich komme aus der Türkei. Ich wohne in der Türkei. So there's two examples that you have of countries which are in the feminine and what in and aus does to die. It changes it from die to der. And you'll notice that quite a bit now through your learning of German, what in and aus will do to die. So after in and aus, die changes to der. So ich wohne in der Schweiz, ich komme aus der Schweiz, ich wohne in der Türkei, ich komme aus der Türkei. So that's it. But learner has a chunk and you have an example in your head. The next thing, the other Ausnahmen we have are die Länder, die immer im Plural sind. Zum Beispiel die Vereinigten Staaten. Now, to be able to say I come from the United States, this is plural. So, ich komme aus den Vereinigten Staaten. Ich komme aus den. So, even though die Vereinigten Staaten looks like the same die for die Schweiz, it's plural. So, they use the same, to double up. But in this case, because it's plural, the die changes to den, D-E-N. So, ich komme aus den Vereinigten Staaten. Ich wohne in den Vereinigten Staaten. So, the die changes to den, D-E-N or D-E-N in English. The same applies to die Niederlande, the Netherlands. Another example, I'll give you two examples of each one. So, die Niederlande, and I want to be able to come from the Netherlands. Ich komme aus den Niederlanden or ich wohne in den Niederlanden. Now, these examples are great to have further down the line because you know what does aus do, what does in do. You'll be able to have those examples in your head. So they'll work for you further down the line. The next thing you want to be able to talk about is die Richtungen, the directions. Der Kompass, the point of the compass. Ich wohne in Hamburg. I live in Hamburg. Das liegt im Norden. That's situated in the north. Im Norden. N has a capital letter. All nouns, as I keep saying, have a capital letter in German. Ich wohne in München. I live in Munich. Das liegt im Süden. Also with a capital S. Ich wohne in Berlin. Das liegt im Osten. Capital O, im Osten, just in case you didn't hear me properly. Und ich wohne in Bonn, das liegt im Westen. So, im Norden, im Süden, im Osten, im Westen. Im Norden, im Süden, im Osten, im Westen. And im. That's important. Now you want to mention along with the country. For example, Deutschland on its own has a capital D. So München liegt in Deutschland. Munich is situated in Germany. But if you want to say in the south of Germany, München liegt in Süddeutschland, and it's all one word. There's no capital letter on Deutschland in this case. The capital is on the S for Süd, and it's all one word. Hamburg liegt in Norddeutschland, all one word. Capital is on the N. Berlin liegt in Ostdeutschland, capital O. Und Bonn liegt in Westdeutschland, capital W. Groß geschrieben. Alles klar. Now, if you wanted to say near Munich, or near Berlin, or near Hamburg, you just have to say in der Nähe von. Now there's that in again. Now who noticed that it's in der Nähe? Die Nähe changed to in der Nähe after in. Keep watching out for those little examples and they'll help you out further down the line. But the little chunk to learn, in der Nähe von München, in der Nähe von Berlin, in der Nähe von Hamburg. There you have it again. So far you've learned all your quite a few countries, a few exceptions in the singular and the plural. You've learned your directions, your north, south, east and west. And you've learned in der Nähe von, near. So far, so good. Now, the last time we mentioned two verbs. One was wohnen, the verb to live, and kommen, the verb to come. And these are all both regular verbs. We're going to mention all the people associated with these verbs. For example, we have already mentioned ich, du, and sie. Now I have a little graphic here, and you'll see ich, du, and then on the third part, you have sie, es, and man. Now, can mean he or it for a masculine word. Sie can mean she or it for a feminine word. And es is neither masculine nor feminine, but there are some words that are neuter. And then we also have man, meaning people in general. So all the top line of my graphic is singular, one person involved. He is one person, sie, one person, and then es and man. So it's just all singular, all over the top. Now underneath is your second line. And then underneath the ich, you have wir, which is the plural of ich. And wir means we. Underneath du, you have ihr, which is the plural of du. And it's for a group of people and informal. And underneath sie, es, and man, you have sie, meaning they. And then out on its own, you can see underneath, you have sie, on the third line, sie, and capitalized for formal. So as you can see, right down the center line, you have the three words for you, du, ihr, and sie. Now we have to attach these people to the verb. Quite simply, you've looked up your dictionary, say for example, to find the verb to live, and you found wohnen. So you get your verb wohnen, you take off the en, and you're left with wohn. So now you get the person, say for example, ich, and you add the ending to go with ich, which is I, for all regular verbs. So ich wohne. Then you have du, and the ending we saw last week was st, du wohnst. And then we have sie, es, and man, and that ends in t, wohnt. So ich wohne, du wohnst, sie, es, und man wohnt. Underneath ich is wir, and that ends in en, wir wohnen. It looks exactly like the infinitive. Then we have ihr wohnt, and that ends in t, and it looks like sie, es, und man, same one. And then sie, meaning they, sie wohnen, ends in en, just like wir. And then the sie, the end, the formal you, also ends in en. And it's exactly the same for all of your regular verbs. So if you know one, you know many. Common works the same. Pay attention to the 3 words that mean you, du, ihr and sie, and when you use them. Das wäre es für heute. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss.